Welcome, explorers of the strange and mysterious. Have you ever been wandering through a desert, the sun blazing down, the sand stretching endlessly, and suddenly seen towering skyscrapers shimmering on the horizon only to find nothing when you get closer? These optical illusions, known as mirages, have fascinated humans for centuries, blending science, mystery, and a touch of the supernatural. In this video, we're uncovering 9 deserts around the world where the heat, the sand, and the unique atmospheric conditions create illusions of cities that aren't there. From ghostly towers to entire skylines rising from the dunes, these mirages make you question reality. Are they dreams conjured by the mind, tricks of the light, or something more enigmatic? Get ready to step into the world of desert illusions and optical wonders. Number 9. The Arabian Desert, Middle East. The Arabian Desert, stretching across Saudi Arabia and its neighbors, is another hotbed for mirages. Travelers often report seeing towering glass towers, bustling streets, and distant oases shimmering on the horizon, structures that vanish as you approach. This region's extreme daytime heat and flat plains make it ideal for superior mirages. The phenomenon, caused by light refraction over layers of hot air, can make distant dunes appear as skyscrapers, minarets, and even bridges. Some Bedouin tribes believe these visions are messages from spirits of the desert, warning travelers or luring them to unintended paths. Many scientific studies suggest these illusions can stretch for miles, tricking even experienced travelers. Some desert caravans have learned to predict the appearance of mirages and use them to their advantage, understanding which optical tricks are harmless and which could lead them dangerously astray. Number 8. The Mojave Desert, USA. In the Mojave Desert, spanning California and Nevada, mirages create ghostly cityscapes that have fooled travelers for decades. Drivers on Route 66 have reported seeing full skylines shimmering in the heat, with windows reflecting sunlight as if an entire city had been built overnight on the desert floor. These optical illusions are caused by temperature gradients between the hot asphalt and the cooler air above, bending light rays to create inverted or floating images. Interestingly, the mirages often appear near abandoned settlements or desert towns, further heightening the eeriness. The Mojave's illusions are not just visual, they're psychological. People describe a compulsion to move toward the mirage, their minds convinced they'll reach civilization, only to find nothing but heat waves and sand. In this desert, skyscrapers are phantoms, reflections of the mind's hope and desperation, conjured by physics and mystery combined. Number 7. The Namib Desert, Namibia. The Namib Desert is one of the oldest deserts in the world, and it's also one of the most surreal. Travelers report seeing skyscrapers emerging from the sand at the edge of the horizon, particularly in the early morning when light reflects off metallic minerals in the dunes. Unlike other deserts, the Namib's mirages often appear stable and tall, as if glass towers had been planted overnight. This optical trick can last for hours, creating the illusion of a modern city rising from an ancient landscape. Some scientists call it a combination of Fata Morgana effects and desert thermodynamics. But for locals, it's a reminder of the desert's mystical power and ability to bend perception. Visitors are advised to watch carefully, as following these illusions blindly can lead deep into uninhabited dunes, where survival becomes a serious challenge. The Namib's mirages remind us that the desert can be both breathtakingly beautiful and subtly dangerous, turning nothing into a city with nothing more than light, heat, and imagination. Number 6. The Gobi Desert, Mongolia and China. The Gobi Desert, stretching across southern Mongolia and northern China, is famous for its sweeping dunes and barren landscapes. But it also hides something far stranger, phantom cities shimmering on the horizon. Nomads and travelers report seeing skyscrapers, bridges, and even streets filled with bustling activity, appearing to float above the sand. Yet, as you approach, they vanish, leaving only the desolate expanse and an unsettling silence. This desert's mirages are often caused by superior mirages, a phenomenon in which light bends over layers of air with different temperatures. The result is a reflection of distant dunes, hills, or even mirages of distant water, rearranged by the eye into convincing urban forms. Some nomads tell tales of travelers chasing these illusions for days, their sense of time and distance warped under the scorching sun. What makes the Gobi unique is the contrast between its stark emptiness and the sudden, impossible visions of civilization. The illusion of skyscrapers in the Gobi is especially eerie because the desert itself seems endless. Flat plains meet the horizon with no settlements in sight. When the mirage appears, the mind struggles to reconcile the impossible sight, the human desire for civilization versus the overwhelming emptiness of nature. Number 5. The Rub al Khali, Saudi Arabia. Known as the Empty Quarter, the Rub al Khali is the largest continuous sand desert in the world. For centuries, travelers have reported visions of skyscrapers, glass towers, and entire cities shimmering as if built on water, suspended above the dunes. The desert is so vast that the illusion of urban structures can appear miles away, luring caravans toward dangerous terrain. Mirages here are created by extreme heat rising from the sand, bending light rays over the horizon in ways that mimic vertical structures. Locals have legends about ghost cities that appear only during the hottest part of the day, warning that anyone who chases them will be swallowed by the desert. Explorers describe a surreal feeling, one moment walking in absolute emptiness, the next confronted with what seems like a bustling skyline. What makes the Rub al-Khali terrifying is how convincing the illusions can be. Photographers have captured moments where distant dunes appear transformed into skyscrapers, complete with windows and reflections, only for the images to vanish seconds later. It's a place where physics, heat, and imagination merge, making the desert feel alive, almost sentient, playing tricks on every traveler who dares to traverse its vastness. Number 4. The Sonoran Desert, USA and Mexico. The Sonoran Desert, stretching across Arizona, California, and northwestern Mexico, is known for its unique cacti and wildlife, but also for one of the most spectacular optical illusions in the world. Drivers and hikers report seeing skyscrapers, office buildings, and distant towers rising from the sands during blistering afternoons, often along seemingly empty highways. The phenomenon here is largely due to temperature inversions over asphalt roads and desert flats, creating inverted mirages that can make distant mountains or structures appear suspended in midair. Many travelers describe a sense of vertigo, as though the mirage is tangible, a city hovering just out of reach. The effect can last for miles, making the desert both mesmerizing and disorienting. What's fascinating about the Sonoran mirages is the way they trick the mind into perceiving life in an otherwise lifeless environment. You see urban life where there is none, creating a haunting tension between reality and perception. Locals advise travelers to enjoy the spectacle but never chase it. The desert's heat and isolation can quickly turn fascination into danger. Number 3. The Thar Desert, India and Pakistan. The Thar Desert, stretching across northwest India and eastern Pakistan, has long been the site of mirages that appear almost magical. Here, travelers report seeing entire skylines, distant towers, and bustling city streets on the horizon, only for them to vanish as they get closer. The mirages are caused by intense heat waves rising from the sand, refracting light over vast distances. Villagers and camel caravans tell stories of lost travelers who chased mirages for days, hoping to find water or civilization, only to find endless dunes and scorching sun. The desert's flat plains amplify the effect, making the illusion of urban life almost perfectly scaled, sometimes appearing to move as you approach. Some historians suggest that ancient traders may have used these mirages as mental markers on the horizon, interpreting them as signs to rest or navigate. Others see them as mysterious tricks of nature, blending physics, perception, and human hope. Walking through the Thar, you understand the desert's power. It can create beauty, wonder, and danger all at once, reminding travelers that the line between reality and illusion is fragile. Number 2. The Sahara Desert, Africa. The Sahara, the world's largest hot desert, is infamous for its mirages. Travelers have reported seeing entire cities of glass and steel shimmering above the golden dunes. The phenomenon occurs due to the extreme heat, causing light rays to bend and reflect in unusual ways, creating the illusion of skyscrapers rising from the sand. These mirages are most vivid in the afternoon, when the sand radiates heat and the sky shimmers with distortion. Caravan guides have long warned travelers not to chase these visions, as they can lead hours off course into dangerous stretches of desert. Historical accounts tell of explorers chasing phantom towns, only to collapse from heat exhaustion, believing they were walking towards water and civilization. Yet the Sahara's illusions aren't merely dangerous, they're hypnotic. The juxtaposition of endless desert and imaginary urban landscapes evokes both wonder and unease. Photographers and scientists alike have tried to capture these illusions, documenting moments where it seems the desert itself is mocking the eye, creating cities from nothing but heat and air. Number 1. The Lut Desert, Iran. Finally, the Lut Desert in Iran, one of the hottest places on Earth, offers perhaps the most breathtaking and deceptive mirages. Travelers have reported seeing entire skylines, mirrored towers, and floating cities on the horizon that vanish when approached. The desert's extreme heat, vast salt flats, and flat terrain create perfect conditions for optical illusions, bending light in ways that turn nothing into skyscrapers. The mirages in the Lut Desert are particularly mesmerizing because of the contrast between the barren landscape and the imagined urban structures. Some travelers have reported seeing glimmers of reflections and metallic-like surfaces, as if the desert were crafting a parallel reality. Scientists explain this as a combination of Fata Morgana effects, heat refraction, and human perception, but the experience is profoundly disorienting. For anyone standing in the Lut Desert, the mirages challenge everything you believe about distance, scale, and reality. The skyscrapers might not exist, yet the desert convinces your senses otherwise, leaving you with a lingering question. Is it a trick of light, or is the desert hiding secrets our eyes were never meant to see? These deserts prove that our world is filled with places that challenge perception, blur reality, and test human curiosity. The next time you wander into the blazing heat of a desert, pause and look toward the horizon. What you see may not be there, yet it feels entirely real. Mirages are more than optical illusions. They're a dance of science, nature, and human imagination, teasing travelers with visions of impossible cities, skyscrapers that float, and dreams that vanish the moment you approach. They remind us that even in the most barren landscapes, the mind can create wonders, and the desert has its own way of telling stories through light, heat, and reflection. Would you chase these phantom cities? Would you risk the journey, knowing that what glimmers in the distance might disappear the moment you reach it? Deserts don't just test your survival, they test your perception, your courage, and your sense of reality itself.